Good morning. The old man here, September 23rd, 2025. What I want to talk about today again is gold and silver. And I think what we're seeing here, if you've noticed, if you're a stacker, I'm sure you've noticed the last few days that we've had some pretty good gains in gold and silver. I think what we're witnessing here is the speed up, if you will, of the capital rotation. The big boys are seeing it more and more every day, that all the things adding up across the world is the fiat currency is coming to an end. We've had markets in Indonesia where they've closed millions of bank accounts, and in Vietnam they've closed bank accounts. To me, that is a bank collapse, and we're going to see more and more of that across the world. And as that comes, more and more of the players, the big players across the world, are going to buy gold and silver. It at one time, or for the most part, what I've done is gathered U.S. currency, the dollar, and waited till the weekend to purchase gold or silver, mostly silver. And normally the way it went was on Friday, the big banks beat silver down, let's say, and maybe even gold, beat it down to where actually you could go in and get a pretty good deal on Friday. So I de-dollarize on Friday, turn my dollars into gold and silver, and most of the time I could get 25 cents, 50 cents off compared to what it was the rest of the week. But now what I'm seeing is, like yesterday, we had pretty much $1 rise in silver yesterday. Pretty good rise. I don't recall exactly what it was because I'm watching silver closer than I'm watching gold, but I still got gold investments as well, but I'm watching silver closer. But at any rate, silver went up roughly $1 yesterday. It was a little over $1. I think it finished up at 99 cents up for the day. And with that, like I said, I think we're seeing a capital rotation that's happening faster and faster. And the one thing to keep in mind about the big boys is they're selling something to buy gold and silver. And if they sell it, whatever that is, stocks, bonds, whatever, if they sell it too fast, the market collapses. And that's not what they want. They're rotating their finances, selling what they can at a reasonable rate across the world, but that is speeding up. There is starting to be panic. It's maybe in the very beginning stages. There's even a couple gold and silver guys that are talking about waiting for the end of the month, that there's a lot of short positions that need to be closed out, and the big bullion banks are going to beat silver and gold down at the end of the month here to close out some positions and not get hurt too bad. They're going to take losses, but not too bad. However, with this rotation, I don't think they can pull it off this time. Now, I could be wrong, but honestly, I don't think they can pull it off. I really don't. Any dips, night or day, typically they like to beat the market up in the evening or at night when there's a lot less volume, and they've got a better opportunity to push silver down. But they're going to be buying it up. Whoever if they try to push it down, somebody's buying it up. Somebody's going to be buying it up. So I don't think they're going to have the opportunity to push the price down. They might get a little bit, but I don't think they're going to get what they need. They're going to need a $2, $3, $4 beat down. Some are calling for at least a $4 beat down, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think they'd be lucky to get 50 cents, 75 cents. Regardless, even if I'm wrong and they do manage to beat it down, it's going to come right back next week. So it doesn't really matter. If you're buying physical, get it in your hands. Um, One of my points I was trying to make earlier is that I used to wait for Friday. It's getting to the point now, if I wait for Friday, I'm going to pay $2, $3 an ounce more than I could have on, let's say, Wednesday. So I'm going to try to make purchases tomorrow, and turn in whatever fake fiat cash I have, and turn that into gold and silver, mostly silver. I'm still a big silver fan. It's got a long ways to go. Um, at the end of the day, I think you're going to find out that gold and silver is money. I already know this. The rest of the world is starting to know it. And everything else is a fake fiat currency. And people are de-dollarizing across the world. People are de-fiat currency. What if they, if you're somewhere else in the world and you're working that fake fiat currency, uh, they're getting out of it there too. They're getting out of those fake fiat currencies, and that's why you see gold and silver going up exponentially. Some are worried about gold and silver crashing at some point, like it did in 81 and 2000. What was it, 10 or 11, whatever? I think it was 2011. Getting it beat down. Well, the big difference is this time is the whole world is de-dollarizing and or de-fiat currency across the world. So you know it's happening faster and faster. The one other thing I wanted to bring up, and part of what's also pushing this, is people are starting to realize, and maybe not the everyday consumer's not realized it yet. And when they do realize it, it'll honestly be too late in a lot of ways. But what they haven't realized yet is that all the numbers in the system brought to you by the feds is fake fiat currency figures. Everything is fake. Job numbers have been hidden for years. Uh, they keep revising them down by millions. That's just not a near miss. That's bullshit numbers. That's what that was. They had to hide those job numbers. If you remember, they said, well, we had two down quarters in a row. That's basically that's a recession. They say, oh, well, wait a minute. It's not a recession because job numbers are still strong. Job numbers are strong. Job numbers are strong. And then Trump gets in, and the real job numbers start to come out, and you find out that they were fake job numbers. It's bullshit job numbers. And if you could even come close to finding out what they really are, most people would be in a big ass panic right now, and that's why Trump has got to let the news out slowly, so that there isn't a big panic. The other thing is some are on, in the financial world are talking about Trump taking over and running the Fed. And honestly, if you're going to end the Fed, and I believe that's where he's going to end the Fed, the first thing you need to do is control the Fed. And so that's, I think, what we're seeing is a power rotation there as well. That's going to make people across the world, investors across the world, nervous. Too bad. Sucks being them. But at the end of the day, like I said, in order to end the Fed, you have to control the Fed, basically own the Fed for a while until it's time. And the thing about it is, it's not quite time yet, but that time is coming soon. The last financial crisis we had, 2008, the GFC, they call it, the Great Financial Crash. Honestly, that's a joke compared to what we're looking at right now. That is honestly a joke. A lot of people didn't even know what really happened in the last roundup. This time, they're going to know. Everything's fake fiat numbers. Everything you think you know is fake. Uh, the job numbers are fake. The CPI is fake. Um, these banks are sitting on tons and tons of things that that are upside down, from commercial real estate to home real estate. You know, they've been preaching that we had 4 million um, less homes than we needed. There was a crisis in homes. That's why the price of homes were going up. Well, that's all fake fiat bullshit too. There's some will claim 14 million homes out there sitting vacant in the U.S. Well, I don't know how true that is, but I think the numbers have been pushed to where they were to make the bank's balance sheet look better. Now it's coming to realization, and it's also, you know, coming across that a lot of these, and you'll start to see it if you look for it. These school districts have blown up valuations so that they could borrow, money to pay their bureaucracy and their bullshit, and that's coming to a head too. I think you're going to see um, property taxes eliminated, and if you think about it, everything we know today is fake. That's all there is to it. You know, years gone by, we had, you know, practically a revolution over, or actually we did with the Boston Tea Party, over a few cents on tea, tax on a few cents on tea. And if you think about it, everything you do today is taxed. Everything you do today is taxed. You either got to get a permit, or they'll only allow you to build a house that's this big or this small. In other words, you know, and there's many reasons for that. They want to keep you in debt. If you could go out there and buy or build a 600 square foot house on your mom and dad's property, or your grandparents' property, build a 600 square foot house, grow with no debt, grow your family, and as your family grows, expand your house, and they're not even allowing that to happen. And again, it's all about taxes. It's all about keeping you in debt, and that is all coming to an end. This is this is a world-changing event. I'm super excited to see it. A lot of people aren't going to know what to do, but at the end of the day, with Trump at the helm, I believe we've got a pretty good chance of coming out of this a lot better than the rest of the world. The rest of the world is already doubling down on stupid, especially Europe. The Spanish are already doing capital control. If you take out more than a few $100s out of your bank account, they want to know why, and they're not. You got to give them a 30-day notice. Well, if that was me, that here in the United States, that would mean money would come into my account, and if I wanted to pull it out, let's say $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, I wanted to pull it out, and I told them, well, you know, I want to buy more guns, or I want to buy gold and silver. Well, they wouldn't let me have that money. That's what's coming to the rest of the world. It may come here temporarily as well, or you may see, like I said, you know, banks closing in Indonesia, or bank accounts being closed, which is basically banks closing in Indonesia and Vietnam. That's coming to the rest of the world, plain and simple. And I think the average American doesn't see it. I don't. I think the average person in the world doesn't see it. They're so they've been lied to so much, and they're still plugged into the matrix. If you're, you know, if you're looking and you're outside, you're watching something like this, I'm sure you're at least somewhat unplugged from the matrix, and you're starting to look around trying to figure out what's wrong. Well, I'm telling you, the matrix is what's wrong. Everything about the matrix is wrong. It's all lies. And you can't invest correctly. You can't even, you know, as far as a job, you don't know what's going to be here tomorrow. Everything's so fake that some of these companies that people are working for are propped up by the banks because the banks don't want to show them as a loss on their balance sheet. One day that is coming. The banks are going to close. People are going to lose whatever they got in the banks. The FDIC don't mean shit. It's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what's in the banks today. So you know, all I'm saying is you know, and if you're a boomer like me and you've got a retirement and you think you're in good shape and everything's going to be all right, Well, let me tell you, if your retirement is anything other than gold and silver, if your retirement's in your home, that home price is going to come down, mostly because people aren't going to be able to borrow the money to buy that house. You're also going to see a lot of these investment companies that invested in homes when these home prices start to crash, and they will, because the truth will come out how many homes are actually available. When that truth comes out and those prices start to crash, it's just something on their balance sheet. They don't care. They'll dump that in a heartbeat. They don't care how much they lost. They just know they're losing on it, and they need to go rotate and do something different. So, so like I said, even if you're a boomer like me and you think that, someday you're going to be able to sell your house for much more than what you paid for it and live off those proceeds and move into something smaller, well, you're wrong, because nobody's going to be able to buy that house. They're not going to be able to borrow the money. If you've got $1 million or $2 million in the stock market and you're retired or you're going to retire, let me tell you, when they get done printing this next time around, that $2 million won't buy you shit. But besides that, if the stock market, and I think it's going to, if it doesn't do it all at once, it's going to do it slowly. It's going to eat you up. So between them devaluing the currency by printing and the fact that the stock market slowly goes down, it's not going up. It may go up for a little while yet, but at the end of the day, you're gonna lose so much purchasing power. And as the real numbers come out, um, it's going to scare the shit out of investors and the big boys that are going to be the first to move. In fact, they've already moved. They're moving into other assets like gold and silver, uh, things that are real and not fake fiat currencies. Just about everything across the board. A lot of people in this space are talking about, the upside is good on gold and silver, but if you want to blow that out of the water, you need to rotate and go into mining stocks. Well, my thoughts on mining stocks right now is, even though they're not blown out of the water like equity stocks are super overvalued, the mining stocks, when this market starts to take a shit and there's margin calls, people are going to sell everything and anything, whatever's got value. In fact, they won't even have a choice, because they're not going to be the ones selling it. It's going to be their brokers selling whatever ain't nailed down in order to cover your brokerage account. So I see even the miners taking a major shit. The other thing is oil has been pushed down. It's fake fiat numbers and controlled, much like gold and silver has been controlled. They're losing those controls, but eventually they're going to lose control of oil as well. And I think you're going to see oil go up exponentially, mostly because we have not invested for the last 15 to 20 years. We have not invested in the oil mine or oil wells and exploration that we need to, and that's going to bite us in the ass big time. So we'll see. I think we'll see oil go up exponentially. And for the miners, that's why they're making so much money right now, is that oil's been beat down, and I think they'll try to keep oil down, but at some point it'll have to go up just because of the lack of exploration. So we'll see where that all goes. Uh, I'll let you stew on this for today. A little bit shorter video than normal. We're pushing 20 minutes. Um, I appreciate it if you like what I'm doing here, what I'm saying here. Appreciate it if you'd hit that like. Really appreciate it if you'd leave a comment. And, if you got any questions, be sure to put them in the comments. And let's see what I can do to help you answer those questions. I'm going to start to try and do more shorts covering things that, that are important when it comes to stacking gold and silver and prepping as well. So good luck to you. And by the way, if you would subscribe as well. that makes a big difference in the algorithms and it gets it out to more people. So if you would like and subscribe, and if you really like what I'm putting out there, go ahead and share it with your friends. A lot of people need to see this, and I think as time goes by, more and more people are going to unplug from the matrix and look around, try to figure out what the hell is going on. And content like this is going to be very important to those folks. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.